That's like going to a pizzeria, eating pizza and being like, I don't like pizza, and like blaming the pizzeria for your long life disdain for pizza.
A stand-up comedian goes back to his childhood home and wakes up to a murderer at his door.
It's not the setup of a twisted joke, but it is from a comedy set and podcast by Edd Hedges.
We're previewing Wisecrack.
That's on this episode of So Much Crime.
So Little Time. Welcome to So Much Crime, So Little Time. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dee, and in this episode we'll introduce you to Wisecrack from Tenderfoot TV and iHeart podcasts.
If you haven't listened to Wisecrack, that is great. This is a preview episode.
Here we only discuss episode 1 and introduce this series. No spoilers for what's to come, apart from the murderer part.
You'll also find a link to Wisecrack in our show notes.
In our next episode, we'll discuss the whole series, but right now we just want to decide if this is a crime that is worth your time. Jeff, before we jump in to the crime, we got to jump in to the time machine. We got to figure out where we are when this happened, what's going on culturally, and, you know, maybe discuss any connected or adjacent things that have gone on related to this crime.
Let's do it. All right, let's jump back to July 22nd, 2015. And this time machine's a little wibbly wobbly, but I think we're going to a place.
Do you guys have wibbly wobbly wonders here?
No, I know it from Doctor Who. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
I don't know what that is, but a wibbly wobbly wonder is an ice cream.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go to Stansted. Mount Fitchett.
I don't know. I'm not from there.
I think we're going to go to Stansted Mount Fitchett, which is a small town, let's say north of London in England.
Let's say that, because there's no way we could fact check that right now. There's no possible way. Anyway, Jeff, what do you have for us today?
Okay. Quick song. Now, this is the third time from 2026, this year of our podcast, in the year of our podcast Lord, that we are going back to the summer of 2015. Do you remember the last two times?
Jeff, is this the theme for 2026?
To visit 2015?
No, to consistently visit the same times in all of our podcasts.
It's like a Groundhog Day.
I feel like we've paired them up.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't do this on purpose. We don't really consider what time we're going to when we pick the next podcast. We should maybe, to make the time machine more interesting, because I think it's the first thing we do every time we cover a podcast. But here we are. So we were in August for Jason Corbett and for Cracks in the Fandom, but now we're going a little bit further back, just easing that dial a little bit back to July. So I asked you about the top songs in Ireland in those last two episodes. I'm guessing you don't remember what they were, because that was weeks ago.
Nope.
One of them was Drag Me Down by One Direction.
One Direction, yeah.
Yeah, and the other was
Oh, sorry, you were waiting for me to answer. I was just singing it in my head.
That, in a podcast, that works great. The other one was...
I thought we were clear that we didn't want me singing anymore on this podcast.
The other one was Charlie Puth and Meghan Trainor. Do you remember what that one was?
No.
The name of the song is the name of a singer.
Oh, Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. There it is. Okay.
Gaye,
okay.
Oh, sorry, song.
But for all of July in Ireland, one song, different song, was at the top of the charts. This is a song I'd never heard before. Never heard of this artist. Never heard the song. The artist is from Belgium. The genre of the song is deep house / soft rock / tropical house. Doesn't help me at all. Didn't think it would help you. I have some lyrics that are, I feel like, incredibly misleading. There aren't a lot of lyrics to this song, so this isn't going to take very long. But this was number one for 4 weeks in Ireland.
It's not Avicii, is it?
No.
Okay.
Although that's a interesting guess, but it's wrong. The lyrics go like this. I Want to Dance by Water 'Neath the Mexican Sky. Drink Some Margaritas by a String of Blue Lights.
Hold on. Drink some margaritas by a string of blue lights. Oh, I know the song. I can't figure it out right now, but I know the song, definitely.
Okay. The point of the game is to actually say the name of the song or the artist.
You have feckin' One Direction song in my head. Read the 2 lines again.
I Want to Dance by Water 'Neath the Mexican Sky. Drink Some Margaritas by a String of Blue Lights. There's one more line, and then that's all I have.
Give me the other line.
Listen to the mariachi play at midnight.
Are you with me?
That's it.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
That's a great song. Yeah, it's a great song. Who's the artist? No idea.
So this is a Belgian artist named that goes by Lost Frequencies, but the actual song, it's basically like a DJ remix of a country song by a different artist who I didn't bother to write down. But yeah, this was a big song in Ireland.
Who cares about those people to actually write the words?
Irrelevant.
Words don't matter.
Job. You got it.
Woo!
All right, what you got?
Okay, moving on. I have a quiz centered around, the central part of episode 1, which the whole focus of episode 1 really is this knock on the door. It's how we start it. It's the name of the episode. So what this quiz takes is that kind of midnight knock. And I'm going to bring you some absolutely absurd real world headlines and historical oddities centered around the wait, that actually happened midnight quiz.
Okay. I thought you were going to go knock knock jokes, but okay.
Oh, that would have been good. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting dog.
Interrupting dog.
Whoop!
You got to be a little faster on that.
Okay. 2023, we're going to start in America. We're in Michigan. A resident in Michigan was plagued by people knocking on their door at 2 a.m. for weeks. What was the bizarre true reason? A. A local ghost was trying to find his Uber. B. A scammer had sold VIP concert tickets and given them this random address for pickup. C. A prankster had trained a local raccoon to knock in exchange for cheese. D. The house was accidentally listed as a 24-hour cereal bar on Google Maps. I don't actually know what a cereal bar is.
Oh, I've been to a cereal bar. It's like a coffee shop, but they serve cereal and milk. And yeah, you just go have bowls of cereal. Yeah, I went to one in Portland.
My kids would love that. My kids would love that.
Yeah,
okay,
I loved it.
What do you think?
I want them all to be true. I'm going to guess the raccoon.
I loved it. That's what you guessed. You're wrong. It's actually the ticket scammers. The scammers would take people's money and send them to a random house to collect non-existent tickets.
I wanted it to be the raccoons. I'm sad that I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know much about raccoons, but I'm not sure if their knocking ability. They might be able to tap.
They've got soft little paws.
Yeah, you're really not on your game today. Okay, in the UK,
Wow.
A group of pensioners was tormented by a knock-and-run prankster. We call them knickknacks. Anyway.
Paddywhacks.
Yeah, give a dog a bone. Yeah. For how long did this person keep up the bit? Was it A, one very long caffeinated weekend? B, 3 months, basically until they ran out of steam? C, 15 years? Or D, since the late 80s, it's now a local heritage tradition?
Wait, say again what they did?
What they did?
Yeah, what was the first part before? I heard all the answer choices. What was the...
Oh, a group of pensioners was tormented by a knock-and-run prankster.
How long did the prankster keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. I'm going to say D.
It is C, 15 years. Shortest answer, Jeff.
Come on.
Residents of a sheltered housing complex in Worcester reported being targeted for over a decade.
Oh, for 2.
I know.
This doesn't like me.
Okay.
Do you have any... Wait. I'm sorry. Do you have any questions about Jaws?
A famous paranormal theory suggests that if you hear 3 knocks in the middle of the night, it's a death omen. But in a 2021 viral story, the ghostly 3 knocks actually came from a neighbour's late father who always knocked thrice because he forgot his key, B, a frozen pipe that had a very rhythmic sense of humour. C, a delivery driver who was too shy to ring the bell. Or D, a woodpecker that had developed a taste for mahogany.
Should I interpret your reaction to reading those as a clue?
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is my first time reading them, so and I don't have the answers. I have to scroll to get the answers. Like, I glanced over, I fact-checked some of them, but I didn't actually read through the whole thing.
I mean, the funniest one is the woodpecker.
Yeah, I thought so too. Incorrect, though. It's the neighbour's father. In a famous medium story, the spirit was just a confused elderly neighbour following his old routine.
Huh. All right. I'm clearly need more
You're
sleep.
doing poorly. In a bizarre case of midnight delivery, a man in Australia once opened his door to find a stranger handing him a £10 bag of wet confetti, B, severed but very polite mannequin head, C, pizza he ordered in his sleep 4 days prior, or D, a live penguin that had escaped a local enclosure.
Wow. What amazing choices these are. I've been going with the animals and I keep being wrong, so I'm going to rule out the penguin. Wet confetti is a very specific turn of phrase. I don't know what to make of that. Why would the pizza be from 4 days ago? That pizza isn't really that good anymore. And the mannequin head? I don't know. Let's say pizza.
Okay, you're wrong.
Fuck.
Okay. It was actually the mannequin head. Apparently there were several other like creepy stranger encounters where people would leave gifts just to be weird. There's like apparently it was captured a lot on Ring cameras in the USA and in Australia.
Okay.
Some people even did leave escaped wildlife at the door.
Huh. All right.
Okay, last one. You ready? You got to get one, Jeff, or else we'll
Please.
just end it here. If you lived in 19th century London and heard a knock at your window at 4 a.m, it probably wasn't a ghost. It was likely, it's a history question really, a knocker-upper. That's a person paid to poke your window with a stick to wake you for work. A pie man selling breakfast through the glass. A chimney sweep who got lost in the fog. An early form of spam mail delivered by a very tall man.
I'm going to be happy with whichever one is true. I'm going to guess knocker-upper.
Yes, correct. Before alarm clocks, people literally hired human alarms to bang on their windows with long poles.
There goes technology just taking jobs away again.
I know, seriously.
Didn't go for however many that was.
You got 1 out of 5.
There's no way of knowing how many questions that was.
It was 5 and you got 1. There is a way because I was reading them and they were numbered.
All right. That was our time machine.
If you enjoyed our time machine, if you always enjoy our time machine, or just the podcast in general, you could go to patreon.com/so much crime, so little time, and you can get more time machine or extended clips. You'll also get to support the show. Join us on patreon.com/so much crime, so little time. Thank you for your continued support.
All right, Dee, let's talk about Wisecrack. Wisecrack came out in the fall of 2025. Our host is Jodi Tovay. There's 6 episodes. There are several bonus episodes. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to listen to them, but they exist.
You will.
Probably. Each episode is between 30 and 40 minutes long. But Dee, what happened in this first episode?
All right, so Edd Hedges is doing a stand-up set at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. He talks about his childhood, his being dyslexic, being overweight, having asthma. And he speaks about this specific bully who tormented him for a decade. Eventually, when he moves away, he becomes a comedian and he gets invited back to his hometown for a charity show. So he goes, he does the set, he has a great time. And then he goes back to his childhood home to go asleep. In the middle of the night, he hears a loud banging on the door, wakes up. His mum is at the foot of his bed, tells him to not turn on the lights. when he tries to go downstairs, his dad looks petrified at the bottom of the stairs and refuses to let him make noise or open the front door. He runs back up to his room and calls the police. And what they say is, we're aware of the situation. Just barricade yourself in, and whatever you do, don't open the door. And that's where we're left. Jeff, where did you find this podcast?
I found this on just a random site where someone was listing their favorite podcast of 2025, true crime podcast of 2025, and this was near the top of the list, and I had never heard of it. But when I looked more into it, it did get a fair amount of buzz at the end of 2025. It got a lot of press, particularly British press, comparing it to Baby Reindeer, which was sort of a viral hit about a year ago, I want to say. Did you watch that?
No.
I didn't either, but I know about it. But similarly, a comedian talking about sort of a traumatic, personal, real-life event. This one is different. And you know this, I'm a huge fan of stand-up comedy. And I was like, stand-up comedy and true crime together, what could be better?
Just stand-up comedy without the crime?
Yeah, this is wild.
It's kind of a bit like, I don't know what the word is. Like, it's kind of wild because he goes and he's talking kind of about a crime, about being bullied, which, you know, it's a crime to be harassed like that for 10 years, get stuff thrown at you, like someone kind of stalking you, waiting for you to come out of your house. Like, it's a crime. So he's talking about a crime on stage. So on stage, he's talking about a time he was on stage talking about a crime, and then a bigger crime happened. Like, it's kind of this, like, what's the word there?
Layers. There's layers here. It's meta.
That's what I was thinking of saying, and then I was like, that feels like too, like, where do we live?
No, I wrote in my notes that there's like a lot of levels or layers of meta here, and it's just kind of a lot. Like it's a lot to unpack in this first 30 or 40 minutes or so, because he's also telling, well, there's a lot of detail that we get, which I think, you know, we often compare things. One of our big reference points is like This American Life and that kind of storytelling, and it definitely has elements of that where it's a short story packed with a lot of like jumping around in time. Because you described basically what happened in the first episode, but you left out a lot of things that I think are important or certainly interesting, as well as like all the jokes. There's a lot of jokes. Like, for example, he kind of drops in this whole thing about his father and his relationship with his father, and his father is just like a person. His father only has 8 fingers. He's missing a finger on each hand. And he talks about how like he paints this picture of his father as a man that like both doesn't talk, share his feelings. Also, like his hands are too big to operate screwdrivers. And the one time he did something around the house, he put like a door handle on upside down.
I feel like, though, that shouldn't be that surprising, but because what we have here is that like the central kind of character in this story is a storyteller. Like that's his bread and butter. Yeah. So like to be able to tell a story in a concise way that is also humorous it's his job. And so that's not surprising to me, but like I loved it. I thought it really elevated like the entire like setup. I could imagine someone trying to tell, like if I sat here and tried to tell you the story, it's not going to land as well. Or like even a journalist is, you know, trying to tell it. It has to be led by him. Did
you think it was funny?
I think I laughed a few times.
Okay.
Did you not?
No, I did. But I thought I was curious how you would. Well, I was curious how you'd respond to his sort of affect, because he has this like nervous sounding, kind of insecure, halting way of talking.
Yeah.
But he's clearly like you said, he is, I think, an experienced storyteller and comedian, and like he's comfortable on stage, but like his affect is sort of like, I'm nervous and uncomfortable and awkward,
which is kind of endearing though, because I think a stand-up comic can often come across as like arrogant, and like there's no arrogance here. I think he's endearing in the way that I think like Nate Bargatze is endearing.
Yeah, that's a good
because
comparison.
He has that kind of awkward, like, you know, persona.
Yeah, it's like how did I get here? I don't
Yeah,
belong
and like
here.
I'm telling you this story, and it's a bit weird, and it's a bit embarrassing to say someone threw a donut at me and I tried to catch it so I could eat it. Or like, I don't know, I found him funny with like, he said about having asthma and then everyone got a woo, and he's like, oh, I'm glad everyone wooed for asthma. Like, geez, I hope you took a big deep breath after it or whatever he said. I was just like, he's just funny. And then how he was talking about like cricket, and he's like, because he had dyslexia and asthma or whatever, he was like, I couldn't catch the ball, couldn't read the ball, couldn't like, I was like, he's just very clever and witty.
To your point about him being a good storyteller, he does that thing at the beginning where he says that the story is true, but he's going to give you 3 lies.
I enjoyed that as well.
And it's both funny the way they come out, because we hear, I think, 2 of them maybe in this episode, at least 2 of them.
One of them is popular.
And the host, and I want to talk about the host, but she calls this out as like, this is a very smart thing to do because it sort of like grounds the truth, and it reinforces that everything else is true. But it also, I think, very in a subtle way positions him as a like he's in control of the story. He may sound sort of like wobbly as he's going through this, but he knows what he's doing. He's practiced this. Like, you're in good hands with him.
Absolutely. But I also think the other element is it kind of keeps people engaged to be like, spot the lie.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of the host? She's interesting.
Yeah. So I have a theory. So at the start, I was like, oh, this is kind of gas that she ended up at the Edinburgh Fringe on holiday and she saw him and she said, like, this has been my life now for the last 9 years. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. I noted that. But then when he introduced himself and said, like, you know, I was overweight and blah, 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 there's a pause and then she interjects and says, like, he's far from overweight now. He's got, like, I don't know what he said, like, he's slim or he's got muscly arms and he's got lovely brown eyes. Or she said something along those lines. And I was like, oh, have you been absorbed in Edd Hedges for the last 9 years? Like, are they a couple?
I wondered that as well. I actually wrote down, is she a bigger part of the story? What is her role here? She doesn't come out and say that, but you're right. Like, that sort of felt that way.
It just felt like that's how we were leaning towards it, because we still don't know where, like, what she connects with. Like, why is she there?
She did tell a great story about herself. How she was adopted from South Korea to a family in Georgia, and how she had to go to speech therapy because she didn't have a Southern accent.
Her accent wasn't Southern enough.
Right? Yeah, Southern enough. Which, what an amazing little anecdote.
I've actually thought that's one of the lines from the podcast I've thought about like 2 or 3 times since I listened to it. Like, it keeps coming to mind, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's
funny that the line I keep thinking of is, do you love your family and hate the French? Which is the ad for getting new windows for their house. Which, that was one of the funniest things to me.
I'm so glad we recorded tonight because I just need to listen to this more tomorrow.
One other bit about his dad.
I'm going to eat this one up.
Speaking of eating, so he sort of
pancakes. Sorry.
He talks about his dad being like legitimately abusive. Like, this is a dark story, but how like his dad's way of apologizing, which I think rings true, rather than say I'm sorry or give you a hug, is to quietly make pancakes the next day, leave them for you, not talk about it. And if you've eaten them,
it's all good.
Yeah. What a funny little bit that is, with a lot of like darkness to it. Okay, so we haven't talked at all about the main story, which is there's a murderer banging on his door that his parents are terrified of and the police are aware of.
So my thinking was that the parents were kind of being bullied by him still, and that I'm sure if it's a few doors away that he still lives, that they probably knew his parents, so maybe they're aware of something there. Because I don't know how else would they know? If
all you've listened to is this episode, you don't know who's at the door, what's happened, why his parents are scared. If you've read the description of the podcast, you know more. But like, you know, they do play a clip at the beginning.
Yeah, but even knowing more, how do his parents know at that time what's happened? That they should be scared to open the door?
We don't know, do we?
No, that's my point.
But so, yeah, there is a clip at the beginning, like a news clip alluding to like people got brutally murdered, and that's obviously connected. I think it's one of the things that struck me was how little of that story is in this first episode, and yet there's so many sort of misdirections and other interesting bits that, like, because the first thing we hear at the very beginning of the episode is the pounding on the door, and he just keeps kind of circling away from that and coming back to it and away from it and back to it.
Yeah, but episode 1 is the setup episode. It has to set up that night, and the way it was told, oh my God, it's so tense.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Yeah. No, I thought it was really well, as I'm saying, I thought it was really clever in its construction. I thought it was really well done. I also really want to just keep going and listening to it.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to jump in and hear more about it. I thought this was an incredibly solid podcast. The knock at the start, you know the way I'm not usually into this whole sound effect business. I feel like sometimes they add them in and I'm like, lads, like this isn't, like it's not a children's show. But the knock at the start, which is part of his bit.
Right. There's not like
great.
a slide whistle or like
the seagulls giving you the impression that we're near the sea and on the cliffs. No.
So you're super excited to keep going?
Oh, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think can we finish this up so I can go and listen to episode 2?
Do you remember the last time we did a Tenderfoot TV one?
Tenderfoot Media? I don't know.
We've done at least 2. One of them was Lords of Death.
Oh.
Yeah. Thrasher Banks. The other one was To Die For was Tenderfoot. We didn't like that one. That was the Russian spy.
Oh, you didn't like that one?
The sex spy one. Yeah. But anyway, let's find out what happened in the recap.
If you enjoyed this episode or you have been enjoying the show in general, please leave us a comment. And while you're at it, maybe give us a rating. 5 stars if you really liked it. Ignore that ask if you didn't. 5 stars really helps get the show in front of other people and show up on their feed. So we really appreciate all of your support with this show. If you're new to the show, welcome. Please come chat to us on any of our social media. Thanks.
Next time, who is banging on that door?
It's definitely not good. We know it's not good.
We'll be recapping all of Wisecrack.
That's on the next So Much Crime,
So Little Time.
So Much Crime, So Little Time is a production of MimeGov Media. The executive producer is Paxton Calariso. Our associate producer is Blythe Ty. Theme music was composed by Vyacheslav Starostin. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to this show in your podcast app. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and a review. Even better, tell your friends. To join the discussion, look for us on social media. Check out the show notes for all the links. Thanks for listening.